welcome to the Coaches Show here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're here at Luigi's. We've got a good crowd already, Gerald.
Big crowd.
My name's Gene Reed, and this is my partner, my sidekick, and a real gentleman, Gerald Lewis. And we're glad to have you. And, Gerald, we have fun doing this, don't we?
Oh, yes, sir. We have a lot of fun getting together, hanging out, eating food here at Luigi's, and then hanging out with our boys.
Luigi's is so much fun. The entire Luigi's family, we just want to say shout out to them, thank them for hosting our Coaches Show each week. And the Luigi family has several branches to that family that branches out with different last names, but they're all part of the family here. And they are involved with all of the restaurants in this region, and many of them come here and they have their family dinners here.
Yes, sir.
So if they come here for the family dinners,
it's good. It's
so
good food.
When we come here, I always tell the waiter I know the family.
Right.
And you know what service I get?
Same.
Same.
That doesn't matter.
But luckily it's the same good service. So.
Yeah, but you get better service if you go to the one in Yukon or you go to the one in Chickasha.
I stay here in Newcastle.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're glad.
But three locations.
3 locations, and they offer a special for each of our Coaches Show. Tonight's special is shrimp Diablo pasta, and it is Coach Judd's favorite. It's the one he asked for, and when Coach orders his, he says, "Bring on the heat."
Oh, and he brings it.
And they bring it. So the shrimp Diablo pasta for only $15. And if you're not here yet, if you want to come on out, there's plenty of time to join us. We're here in the Tri-City area, 117 Northwest 32nd Street, which is just a few doors down from Walgreen here in the Tri-City area of Newcastle. And they've got a lot of items besides their special, and you don't have to bring on the heat. You can order that special and enjoy the show tonight. For those of you who are here, I just want to remind you, you can watch the Coaches Show and also games sponsored by OSN on your smartphone, on your computer, or on your laptop. And you just look for their app, and it's really easy to find. Just search for Oklahoma Sports Network. It'll show up also as OSN, and you can download it to Roku, Amazon Fire, and also Apple TV. So, Gerald, tonight we have our head coach back. Coach Brickman joins us on about every couple of weeks. For 2 weeks, he sent some of his assistant coaches, and that's great to get to see them. He's back with us tonight, along with assistant coach Cameron Pound, and our MVP for the week. Our MVP of the game is Mr. Caden Longman.
Yes, sir.
So we look forward to that. So before we bring up our guest, let's talk a little bit about our district that we're in.
Yes, sir.
And a little bit about the game. The district, of course, everyone knows now we're in 5A.
Yep.
We're in District 5A1, and we are just now ready to play our first game.
Open it up Friday night, district play.
Against?
Duncan.
Against Duncan, Oklahoma. The Duncan Demons.
Duncan Demons.
They'll be here Friday night. It's our homecoming.
Yep.
That means a homecoming parade.
In the morning, yes, sir.
Thursday night's a big evening because we have something called the homecoming kickoff event. I say something. It's a little new for us, and we look forward to that. The homecoming parade, and I'll be there in my little golf cart, which will be the smallest car on the entire parade. But I'll be there, and I am pleased to have the Newcastle athletic trainer and 2 of her student trainers riding with me. We'll be tossing out candy wild and crazy.
Delana Newberry.
Delana Newberry.
Yeah.
So,
she's amazing.
We're looking forward to the homecoming parade and then the game. And our homecoming candidates will be introduced that night. And there's a large group.
Huge.
In the, what do you call it, in the royalty?
The homecoming court.
In the court.
Yeah, in the court.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so actual kickoff time is going to be closer to 7:30, I think 7:35.
Yeah, it's on the schedule. It's 7:35 because everything's scheduled out. So homecoming will be before the game. So get there early, get in early, and then watch the homecoming festivities and then cheer our boys on for a win.
So our first district game is Friday night.
Yes, sir.
And after that game, we are 50% through. We're halfway through our regular schedule. So how could that happen so fast?
That's really fast.
We're going to talk about Duncan a little bit later on. We don't know a lot about them, but we'll chat it up a little bit toward the end of the show, Gerald. I want to hear your thoughts on it, share a little bit of thought. We probably need to talk about Elgin.
What do you want to talk about, Elgin?
It made me cough. It made me cough.
They make a lot of people cough,
Well,
Gene.
usually I take this time to go over the stats, but
Yeah.
remarkably, I lost my stat sheet, so we won't be.
And that's okay.
We won't be talking any
No.
stats tonight.
No, we saw what happened.
It was
So
a tough game. You know, it reminds me, Gerald, when you get up and going to make the big breakfast. You're going to have bacon and eggs, and you got toast, and you get every ready, biscuits in the oven or toast, and you break the egg, and the yolk breaks.
Yep, and then it ruins everything.
And and the yolk kind of broke early.
Yep.
Friday night.
Yes, sir.
For the team, for the fans, it was a tough loss. And you know, as a fan, I'm going to speak just as a fan.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes a game you realize this thing is not winnable. But
Yeah. But you said it though, Gene. It's like,
pardon me.
you know, once it kicks off, and you go back and forth a little bit, and you say it may not be winnable, but it is finishable. And I think that's what you're getting at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean early on. I just mean at some point in time you get to the game and you say, boy, we're not in this. And yet you want to see the guys finish, and our guys did.
No, they did.
The
They
team finished, including with a couple of the last two touchdowns were made by Newcastle.
Yeah, we scored the 2 late touchdowns, which shows you our guys never rolled over and quit.
That's right.
And then there was a stat on the Oklahoma Sports Network feed that the Elgin coaches told our guys that was the first passing touchdown in 2 years against Elgin.
Wow.
Was Friday night.
Yeah.
In 2 years.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
anything like that is part of the good.
Yep.
But also we had some great plays.
Yeah.
We had some great
Yep.
job. It was really a team effort, but we had several who did really well. I just first want to mention these 4 teams. The top 4 teams in 4A. Now we're in 5A.
Yes, sir.
But any class is tough.
Right.
The top 4 teams in 4A are Wagner, Elgin, Tuttle, and Blanchard. Actually, reverse order.
Yeah.
Wagner, Tuttle, Elgin, and Blanchard, according to the Oklahoman.
Three of those sound real familiar.
Three of those are teams we played.
Yes, sir.
And,
back to back to back.
And so we knew it was a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Appreciate it. Some have been here and
Yeah.
dining. And
He's already got his food. Got his
out,
yeah.
And just in time because that table's going to be filled up real soon.
So, we have about 2-3 tables open. So if you want to come on down, come on down.
What else I can? Well, it was a team effort.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a risk and just some of the names that came to my mind when watching the replay of it.
Yes, sir.
Because I love watching the replay
Yeah.
on OSN, even though we were there watching the game. Caden Longman had a great game, had a nice 19-yard run, had a 17-yard pass to Alex Schumard, a 40-yard touchdown pass to Ian Barker.
Yep.
He had a 23-yard pass to Zach Craig, 22-yard touchdown run, and plus a lot of tackles. So he's our MVP.
Yes, sir.
We didn't select him; the coaches
Correct.
did.
Correct.
But it's so easy to concur with that anyway. Zach Craig, mentioned him already.
Yep.
He had an interception.
Yep.
He had that reception for a touchdown. He had a nice pass reception. Ian Barker had the touchdown reception.
Yep.
Lots of tackles. Elcision.
Yep.
Aiden had a ton of tackles, and just a great effort.
Yep.
Our offensive line, defensive line were really up against monsters, you might say, in terms of size and everything.
6'5", 335. Is that a monster? And that kid's going to University of Tennessee.
They had one young man who has signed with Tennessee.
Yep.
The announcer for the game, Williams, his son signed with Naval Academy.
Yeah, I heard that
So he'll be
after
playing.
that. Yeah.
So we were up against a really strong program. So
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So just before we take our break, though, we'll take our first break here in just a moment. Before we do, let's mention the various players. My throat's tickling me,
Okay.
so let me read through those if you would.
Okay,
Bill.
so as we already know, Caden Longman was the MVP. Jackson Shanuel was the offensive player of the game. Blake Allen was the defensive player of the game. Jason Simpson was special teams player of the game. Cody Nix had the most knockdowns. And then Zach Craig was the Hammer Award on Friday night. So
Zach Craig, our basketball player.
Yeah, Craig, not Craig.
Our basketball player.
Yep.
Got recognized with the Hammer Award.
Yeah.
Are we teaching him to foul, be rough and tough on the court?
Well, no, he's actually a pretty good basketball player. He doesn't foul much, but
but that's
he
before
can let it go on the football field. As long as there's no yellow hankies thrown around. So
what a great game he played.
Yes, sir.
He's had a couple of games. He picked off that one pass.
Yeah.
What a great play, and good to see him out there. And
Yep.
a lot of our younger players.
Yep.
Number 20, Jason Simpson. The coaches recognize him.
Sophomore
For special teams.
Yep.
You know, I saw him at the beginning. Before our first game, I watched some practices, and there are just several numbers that kind of came to my mind, several players, and I just wrote down their number. I didn't know who were some of them, who they were.
Yes, sir.
But he was one, and what I saw was just hustle,
Yep.
going after the ball, going after the tackles or whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of made note. I want to watch this young man.
He's a tough one.
And one of the coaches said, they brought him in last week and had a good game last week and a good game this week.
Yeah.
So it's always good. Cody Nix, all these young players who have just really stepped up has been really
Cody Nix being the sophomore, Caden a junior, Blake a junior. I mean, we've got a lot of young kids.
Yeah. So it's a gauntlet. We know this. We've convinced ourselves. We've told ourselves, hey, get through these 4 games. We want to win what we can, and then focus on the district. Our fans, they're gritting their teeth. They really want to win these games. So we've got an opportunity to really pivot, if you will, for lack of a better term. And
good word.
And we'll talk a little bit about the keys to the next game.
Yes, sir.
And we need to bring home a win against the Duncan team.
Yes, sir.
So let's take our first break. We'll be right back with our first guest. You're watching the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
To the Coaches Show here at Luigi's. We're proud to see a good crowd already.
Yep.
Gerald, my voice decided to start cracking up just about time the show started. So
That's okay. We got you.
I kept my cough drop nearby, take it out of my mouth long enough to ask some questions. But we're so glad to welcome back the Brick himself,
the man.
Head Coach Jeff Brickman in his 8th season. Coach, I spoke with you briefly after practice yesterday. You said the guys had a great practice and they were feeling good.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that, and along with the fact that today is Tackle Tuesday.
Oh, Gene, don't get that tangled up with Taco Tuesday, because Taco Tuesday is also Tuesdays.
Taco could be after Tackle Tuesday. But
yes,
anyway,
Taco's after Tackle. Yeah, that's good.
Probably one of the tougher days of the week for practice. Tell us about how the, what you meant by yesterday, how they were doing on that first day after the weekend, and today, Coach.
Yeah, well, the non-district typically you only have 3 games, and this year we had 4. The district we're in has Guymond, but they don't play anybody from the west side of the state. Or I'm sorry, they're on the west side of the state. They don't play anybody in our area. So we had to find a 4th non-district to make up 10 games, or we could have, if we wanted to, we could have played 9, but we wanted to play 10. And so it was a little bit unique to have 4 non-district games, but basically what you're trying to do is experiment and, try to get everything right before you start the district. And then when we start the district, we do a lot of different things. We start playing music at practice because you kind of get in a lull. We don't do it on Mondays because that's mainly like mental type walking through and stuff. But today we added some music to practice, to kind of liven it up a little bit. And then we started this last year. We go from having blue helmets to black helmets. And it just kind of starts like a brand new season. Okay. And yesterday when we were going through our walkthrough, we did the offense at the end, and out of nowhere, the players on their own just started hooping and hollering while the first team offense was running the plays. I just thought that was neat. No one told them to do it. They just started kind of, almost like when you watch softball and the girls like have chants and stuff in the dugout and kind of feed off the energy. So
that's good.
That was pretty cool.
Good.
It's like a reset.
Yes.
Just recharge your batteries. Hey, we went through these 4 teams, played well. Easily could be 3-1, in my opinion. And just kind of say, okay, all that's behind us now. Here's all these games. Now, yes, they all matter. Mm-hmm. But now our district games are coming into play, and let's go get that. So the morale sounds like it's been really good this week, Coach.
Yeah, and I felt like we had a team that was mentally tough.
Yeah.
And, that's why we played the non-district that we played. Even though I never coached for him, he's one of my really close friends in the coaching profession, Gary Rose, who was the head coach at Carl Albert. He has 10 state championship rings, and he always wanted to play a really tough non-district to get them ready for the season. And one of the things that happened yesterday is when we had our team meeting before we did our walkthroughs, Bo Bradshaw, our defensive coordinator, I coached against Coach Rose whenever I was at a different school, and we beat Carl Albert pretty good. I mean, I think we beat him like 38-14 or something like that. Well, Coach Bradshaw was their starting linebacker.
Okay, yeah.
And I didn't know him obviously at the time, but I knew Coach Rose. And then Carl Albert went on to lose all their non-district games, and then they were 1-5.
Yeah.
And Coach Bradshaw was the starting linebacker on that team, and they went off and they won out, and then they got the 4th seed in the playoffs. Yeah. And then they won the state championship.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so having him on that team and I played against that team, I had him talk to our team about, what were some of the things that he remembers and things like that. So I thought it was a really good time to
good to have,
do that.
So they went through the tunnel and came out the other end.
That's right.
And I have a single game example I give every once in a while. It really probably doesn't mean much to anyone else, but it happened 2 years ago. Wagner lost to one of their rivals 42-0.
Yeah.
And 5 weeks later came back and beat that team and went on to win state.
Yep.
So these things can happen. You can have these single games or these series of games that really get you prepared for the next level. So hopefully we came out. We're ready to come out of the tunnel. And
well, iron sharpens iron. You're not going to get any better playing teams that aren't any good and have a false sense of who you are. You need to know who you are so that you can make the right adjustments. Now, obviously, we've had some injuries. That wasn't in the plan.
Right.
But as far as the strength of schedule, that was definitely in the plan.
Well, Coach, I've asked you this before. I remember last year I had a similar. Probably where I got the question again, but just general high school, the things that start happening to a team after about week 3 or 4, just the progression of the team. What things, do you start having higher expectations of the players? Do they, what kind of happens? Does it start at game 4 for you, or did you see it even more a week ago, or expect to see it? What's the team doing in terms of their evolving to be everything you want them to be?
Well, I think that it's different every year because obviously, like I said, you have injuries that you don't plan for. You also sometimes you have players that move in that you didn't know that you were going to have, and really it comes down to when we meet as coaches on Sundays. We meet every Sunday at 3:00, and we talk through, all of the players. We talk through trying to figure out ways to play more players. Yeah. Because early on what you'll see is just to be honest, you don't know who you can trust. No, I don't mean as a person, but just, to put out there. Right. And so you play guys a lot of snaps on both sides of the ball that have, returning starters and things like that, and you wear them out. And then what you start doing is you start noticing who you can put in, and then hopefully by now you have a depth build up to where you have more than just the main people in the game all the time.
Yeah. And I think, and like you said, Coach, I mean, of course, no one plans for injuries, but that did allow you guys to play more younger guys, probably earlier than what you expected. Yeah. So you probably got a little bit better evaluation of those kids early rather than later, which kind of helps, like you said, the whole team aspect of it. So
for sure.
I don't know if it's actual. Sometimes we fans observe it, or we will talk like we know it. That there are probably players who don't do what they should be doing in practice, and they get in the game and just surprise everybody. Do you see that at the high school level? Because I know you don't just look to throw someone in and give them a chance, but sometimes you see someone who are just maybe an average player in practice, and yet they really respond at game time.
Yeah, for sure. They call them gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt, you see it at every level. And the hard thing is what you hope is whenever you find those players that they're able to then start practicing better.
Right.
Because you don't want other players to think, oh, I'll just,
nonchalant it and then I can play.
So it's kind of hard. As you know, the world's a lot more difficult, and, it's not always just black and white.
No kid.
You excited to be home Friday night in front of the home crowd?
Yeah, I mean, we love playing at home. Just something about, I've talked about it before, just something about being on that field. I don't know. It's just, obviously everyone has a home field advantage, but I don't know. There's something different about being at Racer Stadium for sure. Yeah.
I bet you wish you had that old Racer voice up there, don't you?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
And I do miss the checkers in the end zone.
Yeah.
That was a classic one.
Yeah, I fought as hard as I could whenever they did the new turf to keep it, and I won't get into all of that, but I wish we had those checkers in the end zone. I thought that was awesome.
Well, I was proud to be able to pass the mic, but I was especially proud for Corey Duncan to come in and start the game. He does a great job.
Yeah.
Does a great job. Gets the team. We'll see it again Friday night. He gets the fans involved early and never lets them go. Yeah. And that's got to feel good on the sideline as well. So.
And it's kind of neat to sit there and go to an away game and critique their announcer compared to our announcer, not just the football, but the announcing also.
Right.
So, but Corey Duncan does an amazing job.
Well, Coach, Friday night we saw even more young men step up, next man up, or whatever the term is, and you'll recognize some of them that we hadn't seen their name before, but they stepped up and did a good job, and they got recognized in some of the recognition categories this time. So
there's a lot of them, but probably something people just take for granted is special teams deep snapping. It's not easy, and obviously if you have a ball that goes over a punter's head or isn't a good snap, and so we had our first team deep snapper was Rex Heskew, and he's out. And then our second team was Scagnetti. He got hurt in the game.
Yeah.
So we threw in a young Jason Simpson and just said, hey, you know, we go. And he went in there. You know, he wasn't perfect, but to be put in that situation with not a lot of prep and to be able to do that, I mean, that's a tough situation to be in.
Coach, that's an example of what fans would have never known about or weren't aware of. A few would have who knew, you know, like Rex is an end. But I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. What I did catch, and I mentioned in our first segment, is that Jason Simpson kind of caught my eye during practice before our first game.
Yeah.
I just watched him, and he's just one of several, but he's one who I wrote his number down. And I thought, I need to find out when I get the roster who this young man is. He just hustled. He paid attention.
Yeah.
He was first one to move forward when at a practice event. So I was impressed with that. So I was really glad to see.
Yeah.
And I didn't know why. I didn't know.
Yeah.
His name didn't get called. His number didn't get called. But what a critical role that is to get that ball snapped back there.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah, and we punted a lot, so.
And we had some good punts. We had some punts that went a mile.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo, yay.
Well,
Yay for punts.
Yeah, we always notice the ones that don't go a long way.
Yeah,
but
right.
Look back over the game, we did. So, what should Racer fans be looking for with Duncan? We don't know very much about Duncan. What do you think we'll see in them? I know you won't let out any of our corporate secrets, but what will fans see them? Do they run any special offense?
Their quarterback's really athletic. He also plays corner, and he's really, he makes a lot of plays on his feet. So they'll see a really athletic quarterback. And then defensively, so far what we've seen is they run a very similar defense to what we've seen the last several weeks, which is a 3-4 defense. They play some man coverage on the back end and tend to blitz a lot, which we haven't seen a whole lot of blitzing except for on third downs. So I think you'll see them running an aggressive defense, and then their offense it revolves around their quarterback being really athletic. They're 2-2. They have come. They played a really good Guthrie team. That's really the only game that was kind of lopsided. The other games they've been in, they either won or they were in a 2-touchdown ball game with Shawnee. So, but it'll be our first. We played Bartlesville. That was our first 6A game ever. But this will be our first 5A football game. So it's pretty exciting.
Right, and we're home, as Gerald said.
Yep, we're excited.
Fans need to be out there. Get out there, get early. It's going to be kind of a later kickoff, but the seats are going to be filled up fast. A lot of activities before the game, the homecoming and everything like that.
Yep.
And a kickoff probably closer to 7:30, 7:35.
Yeah, 7:35.
7:35.
Right. Well, Coach, do you have any messages you'd like to leave? Message for the fans or for us who are always critical of everything you do?
No, that just goes with it. I mean,
I've told Coach before when I was in the press box. You understand we gripe about every call, every play you call until it works.
Until it works.
Then we say, "Oh, that's very good." But I jest, Coach.
Yeah, I gripe sometimes too. So, I think the biggest thing is if the fans and the students would understand how much energy they bring whenever we're on defense and it's third down and they can get real loud and the players really feed off of the fans. I know Taj Smith's sitting right over here. When he makes a big play, he always looks up to the fans, and that's kind of their cue to get after it. So,
Taj, can you do that for the coaches show? We don't get much excitement in here. Can you get the crowd excited for us? Oh,
Yay!
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Anything else?
No.
What colors will we be in? Our black and blue?
Yeah,
numbers?
we have black helmets now going into districts, so I think we're blacked out. Black pants, black jerseys, black helmets.
That's cool. That's cool.
Good. Any last questions?
Just
Coach?
homecoming. We're excited, Coach. We're ready to have you guys back home and get that W.
Thank you for bringing Coach Pound. We look forward to having him up in just a few moments. And Also, we look forward over the next few weeks as you bring your assistant coaches.
Yeah.
We're really glad to get to meet these new, all the
Yeah.
coaches, but especially these new ones that have joined
Yeah.
us. So thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have Coach Cameron Pound, with us, and you're watching the Oklahoma Coaches Show, or you're watching the Newcastle Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
How do you ignite minds, inspire curiosity, fuel the explorers and innovators? How do you instill a lifelong love of learning? You give our Oklahoma schools and teachers, and most important, our kids, what they need. That's why the people of Oklahoma Oil and Natural Gas have contributed over $2 billion to education in the last decade, so our students have the opportunity to improve our future and theirs.
And we are back at the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network here at Luigi's. Might be a little trouble for you to get here tonight unless you're just a few blocks away. But come and join us here 6:30 each Tuesday night. We're live at the Coaches Show here at Luigi's. We're very proud to have, first of all, we're going to announce our guest, but I want to say a shout-out to our producer, Uriah, with the entire show last week.
Yep.
And he's the one that always taps me on the elbow and says it's time for this or that.
Yep.
We love him. He does a great job. Uriah, thank you for what you do. And now, without delay, just a warm welcome to Coach Pound. Is it Cam or Cameron?
Cameron
Pound.
Yep.
So, Coach Pound, we're glad to have you here. Offensive line coach.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about how you came to Newcastle and a little bit about you.
All right. Well, this is my 11th year coaching now. My first 10 years are actually where I was at my alma mater, Westmore. And what brought me out here to Newcastle actually is one of our coaches on staff, Coach King. I coached with him when I started at Westmore 10 years ago. And some things kind of fell apart with our coaching staff at Westmore last year. And King reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested to come out here. I met Coach Brickman at a coach's clinic with Coach King there. We kind of talked a little bit, and that kind of began everything. And then got here in January, February, started hanging out in the weight room and meeting everybody, and it's been a pretty smooth transition. I guess I got started a little bit earlier than some of the newer coaches we have on staff just because I was in the weight room with them so much. So it was good to kind of get to know them early like that.
What are your duties on the team?
Right now, coaching offensive line and breaking down film. That's about it. I'm the O-line coach. So.
Do you teach in the schools system?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I'm not a teacher. No, I'm actually a sales rep for Budweiser as well, and then I just coach football.
Cool.
Really?
So
Very cool.
Really?
I've always loved football, loved
Yeah.
being around it, and loved coaching it. But the teaching part of it has not interested me very much.
So.
Hey, you're honest.
Yeah, I know.
So is Cameron, but I've heard that you answer to the name Kilo at times.
I have.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, my high school football coach, Coach Brian Viverka. I'll never forget him. He's, I talked to him long after I was playing high school football. He was a great coach, but he was well known for not calling anybody by their name. He had a nickname for every single person on the team.
Of course.
So that kind of became well known then, and it's kind of stuck around.
Kilo for
A
pound, probably,
conversion of weight, basically.
conversion.
Right. Now, so so you're in good company around here because we love your dad, a big part of our community. Tony Pound is on the board at our chamber, a longtime chamber member, a big part of our community. So it was really proud. And he was so proud to say, guess who's going to be one of our new coaches? And I was so glad to hear him say that you were joining the staff.
Now,
So
Gene, is he part of the coffee crew in the morning? The
No,
boys,
no,
the coffee shop?
He hasn't elevated that high yet.
He's not that cool?
No, it's not cool. There are certain guys that I have coffee with who, Coach Pound, they know everything about everything.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we know everything about everything.
Yes.
So all you got to do is run it through us. We'll let you know what's what. And we see some of the ball players come in there. They say hello to us.
Oh, yeah.
And but Tony was saying, ask him about the name Kilo. So I said, so were you a big guy in high school? Did you carry weight with you back then or anything?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, for the team that I was on, yes. But, I mean, in general, as I wasn't always the biggest guy on the field, I just always claimed to be one of the hardest workers on the field. That's what got me my success, I guess you could say.
So 200 pounds is about 90 kilo. So if you want to start expressing your weight in kilo, it might sound,
Yeah, a little bit more than that. But
We are 90 kilo.
right.
So Coach, how'd you get your love or your passion for coaching?
When I graduated college from UCO, my degree was in fitness management. And at the time, there wasn't really any opportunities to immediately get into that without spending more time in school, which I wasn't a huge fan of school. I did it to play football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I played football, and I knew I had to keep my grades up to play football.
There you go.
So,
Sports is important.
Right.
Yeah.
But some of my best friendships were with coaches that had coached me in the past. So I kind of got in touch with them and see if they had any coaching spots available. I started at a junior high for Brink Junior High over in Moore Schools for 1 week. Then the high school then the high school said, no, you need to be up here at the high school. So I moved up there. They're like, I never had to deal with the junior high part of it. But, that's kind of how I got into it, just knowing guys that I still communicate with.
So you weren't crazy about academics, but you did it because you needed to, and you did that, and you got a scholarship offer for D1 school. So the same source said to ask you, who would give up a D1 scholarship after a couple of years to come back to Oklahoma? So what in the world was so important of Oklahoma?
Well, a few different reasons. First of all, they had a coaching staff change down there, and me and the coaching offensive line coach did not get along very well. So that was the start of it.
But that's not the fun part. The fun part you came back to.
Yeah, so my wife now, my girlfriend at the time, we got together my senior year of high school, and she was still living in Oklahoma. So that was a big part of making the decision to come back to Oklahoma pretty easy. So it's been since senior year, and now been married for 9 years.
9 years. So are you guessing or are you telling us?
No, I believe that's
9
pretty
years.
accurate.
9 years. Okay.
Let's edit this and come back.
We'll come back in 10 years.
Well, I was going to ask him about his.
So new first year here. Mm-hmm. Tell us about some, how the adjustments you have to make, or just kind of the things you do to kind of fit in to see, hey, what's your role? What do you, I don't want to step on these toes, but I still need to do my job. Just kind of see, what's it like coming into the new team, the new organization, as you will.
It's been a pretty easy fit. I mean, all the coaches get along pretty well. I haven't had any kind of issue with any of them, and I think we're all kind of on the same page of like being the easiest way to say it is like be a coordinator of your own position. Like I don't want to step on toes by coaching, running backs because I'm not a running back coach.
Right.
And the same as I don't think people would try and step on my toes on how to coach offensive line because it's what I do.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's got a pretty good understanding of that without having to cross that line.
Yeah.
And I mean, so far it's been a joy coaching with all these guys and coaching these players. They're hard workers.
So offensive line, is that basically 5 positions or more?
Yeah, 5 positions, and then however many guys I can get in if I need them.
So